Welcome everyone to Coffee with Coaches on the Muskie Sports Network presented by Jennings Java. I'm Tom Caudell, and joining me today is Director of Cross Country and Track and Field, Jake Gleason. Coach, welcome to Coffee with Coaches.
Tom, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
You know, Coach, this is one of these video segments that we kind of put in play throughout the summer, wanting to find a way to let our fans and alumni and anybody who's interested learn more about our coaches and get to know you a little differently than just Coach Gleason. So we came up with a variety of questions. Some of them, going to hit home with Muskingum. Some of them are fun, entertaining questions. You ready to get started?
Sure, absolutely.
So talk to us about growing up. When, as a child growing up, did you first find that passion to be a runner, to be involved in track and field and cross country?
Oh, yeah. So when I was in fifth grade, our fifth grade teacher had a track meet. He did it every year, and he was the high school cross country and track and field coach, and that was kind of a way that he'd introduce kids to the sport. And so maybe a month before that meet, you got to go out and do some sprinting and do some long distance running and throw a softball or a frisbee, for the throwing events and jump in the sand and just kind of whet your appetite a little bit to the sport. And then you had a track meet to celebrate things at the end. And that was my first introduction to it. And I kind of fell in love with it. I won a little bit. That helps, I got some trophies out of it. But that's kind of where I got introduced to it. And it just kind of snowballed from there and continued on throughout my experiences.
As you're sitting around and as you get older and you're starting to look at colleges and thinking about being a collegiate athlete, you ended up going to Westminster. What was it about Westminster that attracted you?
I like the small school setting. They had a great biology program, wonderful coaching staff there. They were vested in me from the beginning, and I really liked that connection that I had with the coaches when I got there, the connection that I had with the professors, and they let me grow up there a lot, and that was great. It was a great experience for me.
I'll tell you, Jake, you just described what I hear a lot of our student athletes say about Muskingum. They love the connection with the faculty. They love the connection they have with the coaches. It's a small school setting, get a great education, get to compete as an athlete. When you think back about being a student athlete at Westminster, is there a moment or memory that sticks out?
From an athletic standpoint or just an overall experience?
Either or. Or both. From athletic and just as experience as a student athlete.
Sure. I would say overall, I missed a meeting with my advisor. My first meeting with my advisor, and he kind of rained down on me a little bit, and that kind of reminded me that I was there to get an education too, and I was a good student, but that kind of set the tone for me pretty early on, and that I needed to be serious in both of those things. So I think that helped me out a ton. Athletically, gosh, there were so many of them. I think just the day-to-day interactions with my teammates were really the big thing, that going out and doing a run, and we think New Concord's in a small town. Westminster was even smaller. New Wilmington is a tiny place, and just going out on those country roads with my teammates and getting some miles in, those were great experiences for me.
When did the passion hit that coaching was a route you wanted to go into?
Really early. I always knew that I wanted to work with young people, and I thought it might be an education. And then as I started to grow in the sport more, even at the high school level, I'd always knew that I was going to be involved in coaching, and I thought maybe teaching and coaching at the high school level. And then as I got to college and I started to understand what was going on there more, I think it evolved into moving towards the college scene and coaching there. So I would say, freshman year of high school, sophomore year of high school, something like that, I knew where I was going to end up.
So take us through your experiences as an assistant coach. Once you graduated from Westminster, what was your first stop?
Geneva College in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. Actually, our arch rivals at Westminster, so that was interesting. And I got to work with the cross country team there, and then work with the distance runners and jumpers and long jumpers, triple jumpers, and high jumpers. So I started to understand the sport of track and field more than just distance running while I was there.
Now, let me tell you this: how has your experiences as an assistant coach help you to become a head coach?
Well, that's a good question. It was a lot of learning, and I was at two different places. So, Geneva College, and then I moved on to Ohio Northern for a while. Those were were two kind of different experiences, and I think I got to learn a lot from both of those head coaches. Geneva didn't have a lot of resources, so I had to learn how to be very creative there. They had auxiliary gyms and things like that, so I had to learn how to operate outside of the box. Then I got to Northern, and I had all those resources, and that just showed me another perspective, another side of things, and I was able to learn how to operate in that world. And I learned a lot more. I learned a lot of coaching at Geneva, and I learned a lot of management at Ohio Northern. So that helped me to be into this role now as a director more than anything else.
And what was it that ultimately attracted you to Muskingum? When you saw the job posting, Muskingum looking for the head coach of cross country and track at the time, what was it about Muskingum that really piqued your interest?
Sure. Well, it was two things. One, a personal reason. My wife and I both wanted to be closer to our families. We're both from southwestern Pennsylvania. We had just had our first kid, so Eli was born in March, and then we moved to Muskingum in July. So getting closer to home was really important to us from a personal aspect. When I got here and I interviewed, it was an opportunity to grow a program. Now it was a little bit smaller back then, and things were a little different. And I wanted that challenge of growing a program and building it up a little bit more. And of course we did those kind of things.
When you think back across your career, the different places you've been, the different coaches that you have had, is there someone who's influenced you the most when it comes to how you approach your work?
No, I don't think anybody the most. I think I tried to learn a lot from everybody that I worked with and that I work with now. I can still learn from my assistants now that are here, So I try and pick up little bits of knowledge from everybody, and everybody's got good information to share, and I want to use those resources when I can.
So, Coach, when you get up in the morning, how does Coach Gleason start his day?
Usually yelling at my kids to get out of bed so we can get them to school on time. So that's my start to the day. But a cup of coffee, get a shower, put shoes on and go to work. I'm pretty easy guy in the mornings there. But it's always a challenge to get your three little ones up and out of bed and get them breakfast and showered and ready to go to school. So that's my morning.
Hey, talk about a cup of coffee. It's a great segment to talk about Jennings Java real quick. JenningsJava.com for the freshest roast around. Jennings Java was founded by a Muskie student athlete while he was here, entrepreneur Daniel Jennings. Check out JenningsJava.com. Daniel will take care of you. Freshest roast around. That was unscripted too. That worked out perfect there. How we did there. All right, so Coach, you get the kids up. I mean, we go through that process in the morning too with the kids and getting them out the door and catching the bus. What about when you arrive on campus? What is it that energizes you here?
Everything. This is an exciting time to be here, of course. So I love every aspect of what I do here. So whether it's working with the athletes, whether it's staff meetings with my group and exploring new options on how to work with these young people, recruiting calls, working with folks in the departments. I enjoy every aspect of that. So it's an exciting time every time I walk into the office. Okay, let's go to work.
What about when you walk out of the office at the end of the day? Long day, heading home. What is it outside of work when you have some free time that energizes you?
Yeah, when I have some free time, right? My kids, of course, hanging out with my kids. We're big. We have lots of pets at home, so we've got a new chocolate lab puppy. Taking her out to go throw a tennis ball or a frisbee, something like that. Spending some time with my kids, hanging out with my wife. Getting outdoors. We're really outdoorsy people, so fishing, hiking, camping, those kind of things. So that we enjoy those kind of things.
Yeah, and our paths crossed a few times in the summer. Saw you out there fishing and having fun with the family. What about a work-related accomplishment that you're really proud
of? Probably one of the coolest things that I've done was when I was at Ohio Northern. I had the opportunity to host the national championships for indoor, and talk about a huge undertaking. And I played a really prominent role in that process there. And so I learned a lot about everything from managing a meet to working with the NCAA to dealing with different constituents. There's a lot of things that go on to putting those big championships together. And I would say if I had to mark off one thing, that would be a really, really neat accomplishment for me.
Coach, what's one thing that people don't know about you?
Man, I'm an open book. Well, I guess I spent some time in the rainforest. I had an opportunity to go down the Belize and spend some time in the rainforest and the coral reefs. I was a biology major when I was at Westminster. I had an opportunity to get involved in some of those things. So I spent a week in the rainforest, and I spent a week on the coral reefs doing some studies there.
What an incredible experience. I mean, that's something that's got to be awesome.
It was very
What
cool.
about
Yep.
this? When you think back about, your career, has someone given you some advice before that was like really great advice that you still hold close to the heart today?
I would say two things. My college coach, he told me to lead, and I was I'd always been in leadership roles, but he kind of always encouraged me to keep leading, and I think that's an important thing to remember in leadership. And then when I was at Geneva College, I had a wonderful head coach that I was under, Brett Audie, and he just taught me to learn. I did a lot of learning on my own. Here's a book, go read about this event, understand what goes on there. And so continuing to kind of self-learn and always doing that. I'm constantly reading things, articles, books, talking with other coaches. There's so many different things that you can learn about our sport, and I need to continue to do those kind of things. So I think those are two really simple things that were put before me that I've kind of taken to heart.
Oh, those are two. That's great. I mean, being a leader. I mean, it's something we talk about, on our campus with our student athletes all the time about, stepping forward and being the leader, and then learning. I mean, it's a lifelong activity that you're going to do, always learning. So many people you can learn from. That is some great advice. What about this? If we were sitting with your friends from college, from your wedding, what are 3 words your friends are going to use to describe you?
Oh man. They would say passionate, would be one of those things. Loyal would be one of those. Um, and probably pretty loud. I can get pretty fired up about things. If I had to guess, those would probably be the 3.
All right, Coach. So we're going to film the movie. We're doing a movie on Coach Gleason. Who are we making a call to come play you in this movie?
Um, I hope it would be my wife would probably say Orlando Bloom. I would say it would. I hope it's not Nick Nolte. How about that? That would be somewhere in between those two things. We'd be fine there.
What about a superpower? If you could have a superpower, what would you want?
Oh gosh, my kids and I talk about this all the time. They're all into my boys are definitely into superheroes. So how about invisibility? You can go anywhere you want. Nobody would know that you're there. If somebody else has got a superpower, they're not going to see you. My kids and I fight all the time about X-ray vision or having being able to shoot lasers out of your eyes or something like that, or super strength. And I said, well, if I'm invisible, none of that stuff, you're not going to know I'm there, so you can't get me.
That's good. Yeah, I was really thinking. I'm like, he's gonna say Flash or something, but you're already quick. So you don't need speed. Coach, COVID has kind of kept us indoors a little bit more than we were used to over the last handful of months. If there was only one item that you could eat while you're inside, what's your go-to food?
I do love pizza. That would probably be one of them. Anything Chinese or Mexican though, that's a tough one. One of those 3, I'd have to pick. I'd probably go with pizza when it's all said and done.
Pizza is always a safe bet. I mean, most people do like the pizza pie. Also, this part of the time of the digital age, everything's moving digital. I mean, we're doing this interview right now digitally. Cell phones are huge. But if you could only have 3 apps on your cell phone, what are your 3 apps?
I'd have none. I spend too much time on my phone. Honestly, if I could not be on Facebook and Twitter, those days when I get on there less, I feel better. I wouldn't have any, to be honest. Just let me call you. We'll call and have a conversation. That's good enough for me.
The old art of calling that seems to get lost in today's world. That's good stuff, though. What about a bucket list? Does Coach Gleason have a bucket list? Is there something still on it that you want to mark off?
I don't think so. I don't think I have a bucket list of things. Again, spending time with my kids as they're growing up. That's got to be something that's on there. That's important to me. And getting out there and doing the things that they enjoy. They like being outdoors. My sons are in Boy Scouts. There's always things going on there. My daughter's involved in dance, being at those things. But I don't think I have a dream list of things to do. I just kind of want to live in the moment, to be honest.
Well, I'll tell you that's precious, because when my two sons, Tanner and Tyler, were real young, someone said, enjoy it now. It goes by fast. And I can't believe that now they're ninth grade, seventh grade. It seems like it is going by too fast. You want it to slow down a little bit. So yeah, enjoying the time with the family is always precious and something that's always a top priority. What about a TV show? Do you watch anything on TV? Is there a favorite show you go to?
Well, my wife and I binge Netflix, and you know what? If there was an app, it would probably be Netflix and Amazon Prime on the phone. So I might have to resend that one. But Animal Kingdom right now on Amazon, and then I'm a big NCIS fan. I love watching those ones, and like Criminal Minds and those kind of shows. I enjoy those a lot. So those would be things that I would go to, or science fiction stuff that, my daughter's a huge Lord of the Rings fan. So any opportunity that we can watch those kind of things, she's all about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think every time Lord of the Rings is on TV, it seems like our TV always gets stuck on that one channel.
Yes.
And it's on for the whole day because there's a marathon of those going on. Let's bring it back to Muskingum now. Let's talk about some great news, exciting news that surround the cross country and the track and field program. Before we started talking, we were talking a little bit about the new cross country course. Muskingum in the process of developing a new cross country course. Talk about that cross country course and where it's going to be, what's going to mean to the program.
Yeah, we're crazy excited about it. So we had an opportunity to Agnes Moorhead's farm, just a couple of miles up the road here. I was approached from Steve and Kevin, our physical plant director, that we wanted to go out there and try and utilize that area. It's two big fields that we hadn't done much with. And there was an opportunity to build a course out there, and a really, truly, cross country, dedicated to cross country course, our space, and so we've spent the last couple of months out there doing some work, designing the course, and we had our physical plant crew out there working on some trees and making some trails for us and things like that. And we're in a really good place right now. We've designed it. It looks great. I've had a couple of coaches from competitive conference from around our conference come down to take a look at it to see what they thought of it. And everybody goes, wow. It's going to be a really cool course when we get it all set up and ready to go. We'll host collegiate events. We can host high school events. We'll be able to host our conference championships, maybe even some bigger events for the high school scene. So I'm really excited. It's going to be a lot of work. We still have some things to do, and cleaning up the ground a little bit, things like that. It's an old hay field, but once we get those things done, it's going to be a very wide open course, spectator friendly. I'm really, really excited about it.
Well, I'm sure your student athletes on your team are excited about it too. And when you start hearing getting back in that rotation to host an OAC championship cross country level, I mean, that's tremendous for the program, for the university, to bring people in and combine it with high school events and other NCAA opportunities as well. One of the centerpiece project right now going on campus, right outside your office, really, the Health and Wellness Complex project, a $30 million state-of-the-art facility, center of campus, going to combine athletics with academics, with the community diagnostic hub. It's got the indoor track. You've got to be excited about this project.
Absolutely. And I get to walk out there every day and watch, dirt being moved and foundations being laid, and every day, even though that sometimes it looks like they're not getting a lot done, it's 1 inch closer to where we want to end up, and yeah, I'm ecstatic. I mean, it's going to be a wonderful facility, fully functional 200-meter facility. We can host any kind of meet that you can possibly think of, and we can do it efficiently. We were able to design a venue that allows us to host any type of meet that we want. Little dual meet, absolutely. Big collegiate invitational, the conference championships, big high school events, anything, we can do it and do it well. And I'm really excited about that side of things. And of course, we'll be able to practice in there and not have to bundle up when we in January and February when it's cold outside. We'll have we can be in shorts and a t-shirt and better ourselves each and every day. I'm absolutely ecstatic about it.
Well, the project is slated for completion in the fall of 2022, not too far down the road. And if anybody's looking for more information, you're not familiar with it, muskingum.edu/HWC. All the information's there. Look at the slides. It's an unbelievable facility. It's great to see the administration here from the top, from President Hassler, Board of Trustees, all the way down to the donors supporting this project and moving it forward right now in a time when a lot of colleges have paused some activities, but Muskingum moving forward, and I think that says a lot for the university. And I'm sure the kids on your team got to be excited seeing it going up too.
Absolutely, absolutely. The kids currently are here when we bring a recruit on campus, and we walk out there, and I can kind of show them that vision of where we're going. It's very, very exciting.
Coach, to wrap things up here, your career at Muskingum, you've been here, one of the more tenured coaches in the department right now. When you think back about your career at Muskingum, what are some favorite moments?
Oh man, hosting conference here, a few years ago, that was a really cool experience here. We hadn't hosted in a long time, and redid the outdoor facility, and that allowed us to get back into the rotation. That was a big event. We had some big performances there. I think Julie Phobes stands out as 10K, 5K double, and was all conference in both of those events. Second in the 10K and third in the 5K. Those were just monumental performances. I always got Jeff Burkholder. A few years ago, we took Jeff Burkholder and Tristan Wiles to the national championships. First time in a long time that we took a male and a female to the national meet. And of course, Tristan was an All-American in the javelin. That was amazing. Jeff snuck in there. He was ranked, they take 20 to the national championships. He was ranked 21st, and he was out by a centimeter. And I can still remember the conversation with him on the ride home and his parents I'm 21st. I'm not going to get into the meets. Thanks so much, Coach. I appreciate it. I love my experience here. And I told him, I said, hey guys, hang on. Something could happen. We could still get into the meet there, and because he was 20th the day before, and then the last day of competition, somebody jumped him, and it happened to be the guy that jumped over him hurt his wrist on the throw that beat him, and he wasn't able to compete. So I got to call him on Sunday morning and tell him that, hey, you get to go to the national championships. And then he came in and finished, I think, 14th in the country, moved up from 20th to 14th. That was always just a huge moment for me. And then Chase Addy had several years ago in a phenomenal pole vaulter, 6-time conference champion, went to the national championships several times for us. His first trip to the national meets to get him qualified was a roller coaster. We went to a last chance meet, and he hit the mark needed to get into the national meet, and the official had an error on the sheet and marked his performance down wrong. And the NCAA called us and told us that he had to requalify again. And we had to travel all over the country to get him qualified to the meets. And we ended up on the last day at Augustana College. He got his mark there. And the really cool thing was that Chad Thomas, who's our school record holder, is the coach there. And so when Chase cleared that mark, Chad Thomas got to kind of give him a hug and congratulate him, and kind of this passing of the torch sort of a deal. One great athlete to another future great athlete. That was a really cool moment for me. Those are the three that really stand out for me.
Well, those are some incredible stories you just shared. And throughout your time here, I mean, it's tough because you have touched and helped so many countless student athletes achieve on the track, on the field, in the classroom. That's a testament to you and your commitment to Muskingum and to being a great mentor and role model to your student athletes. Coach, I want to thank you for taking time today to do a little coffee with coaches with us on the Muskie Sports Network. I look forward to connecting again as we get closer to the next round here. The season's on the horizon, and talking some more track and field and talking some more HWC project as the project continues to move forward.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Have a great day.
Yep.